By 1998, the black population in America's prisons had doubled. And we destroyed an entire generation of black Americans. We made it in many states so they can't vote. They're disenfranchised. There was a generation of black children who were raised without their fathers.
Robert F. Kennedy Jr. promising criminal justice reform in hopes of getting black voters to vote for him. This is directly from his website. So is this. Politics as usual has failed the black community. You know, that is classic coming from a guy who wrote an entire book blaming a black man and an Asian man for a crime they didn't commit. Also that his cousin, who did commit the crime, could get away with murder. Oh, you don't know that story? Don't worry. I'll tell you. On October 30th, 1975, 15-year-old Martha Moxley was killed. Now, this happened in the upscale neighborhood of Belhaven, Connecticut, a rich, white neighborhood. And the last person she was seen alive with was Tommy Skakel. However, Tommy had an alibi for the time of her murder, and when police could not find any other suspects, the case went cold. But then there was a series of events that reopened the case in late 1998, which started pointing fingers at Tommy's brother, Michael Skakel. And in 2002, Michael Skakel was found guilty of the murder of Martha Moxley, 27 years after the fact. But see, here's the thing. Michael is RFK Jr.'s cousin. And when you got the Kennedy last name, the money, the influence, and the power, you can't let your guilty cousin go to jail for a murder he committed. See, Martha was killed using a golf club, a 6-iron to be exact. And this golf club belonged to a set of golf clubs that belonged to Michael Skakel's mother. In fact, they were engraved. But the murder weapon, the part that had been engraved, had been torn off so as to not identify it as the Skakel family clubs. But seeing as how the Skakel family set was missing a 6-iron and everything about this club matched that set, was pretty clear where it came from. And Michael Skakel changed his story multiple times over the years. And later in his teenage years, he bragged to people at his school about getting away with murder. And that's why in 2002, he was convicted of that murder. That's when RFK Jr. exerted his money, power, influence, and white privilege. And of course, his Kennedy name. They were able to get Michael's conviction thrown out on account of ineffective counsel. But RFK didn't stop there. Enter Tony Bryant. You might recognize the last name because he is Kobe Bryant's cousin. He's also friends and classmates with Michael Skakel. He claims him and 2 of his friends went to Belhaven that night on October 30th, 1975, and that his 2 friends are the ones who murdered Martha Moxley, and they later bragged to him about it. But see, here's the problem. Number 1, nobody saw them there. Literally nobody. Tony Bryant is black. One of his friends, black. His other friend is Asian. In an all-white community in 1975. If they were there, people would have seen them. Nobody's seen them there. And there is no corroborating evidence to anything Tony Bryant said. You think RFK Jr. cares about that? Nope. In his book, Framed, he lied about the evidence against his cousin and pointed the finger to Adolph Hasbrouck and Burton Tinsley. Adolph Hasbrouck is black, Burton Tinsley is Asian. What I find most egregious about this, Adolph Hasbrouck is an Army veteran. Further proof that in this country, your service to the United States military doesn't matter if you ain't white. And as you would expect, Kennedy's book pointing the finger at Hasbrouck and Tinsley ruined their lives. Hasbrouck has only spoken one time publicly about this. He said the following: "There is nothing as devastating as being called a murderer. You can't throw innocent people under the bus because it suits him." Talking about Kennedy. He said, "It affected me mentally and physically. I see people looking at me. There's a change in attitude when they hear my name. People drive by my house. They park in my driveway. They knock on my door. They camp outside for hours." All of that because Robert F. Kennedy wrote this book framing a black man and an Asian man for a murder that his cousin very clearly committed. So when RFK Jr. says politics as usual has failed the black community, remind him that the call is coming from inside the house.